Welcome everyone, I'm Nile with ListenUp, and today I'm here with Scotty.
Hello everybody, thanks for coming.
We're going to give you an introductory guide to the world of streaming music, from its most convenient to its highest level of performance. We're going to talk about how to get that content and how this world has evolved over the last 5 or 10 years.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, you know, the streaming world is something unbelievable. You know, to have access to, you know, millions and millions of songs, albums, artists, there's never been anything like it.
There really hasn't, and the biggest shift has came in the quality of the content. And I think that's more than anything what has evolved over the last 5 or 10 years. We're all familiar with something like an iTunes store or an iPod full of MP3s, music on demand, but what has been missing is sound quality. And now all of the above services, Tidal, Qobuz, Amazon HD, Apple Music, feature CD quality or better. And when we say CD quality or better, we're talking about 16-bit or 16-bit picture sampled at 44.1 or 44,100 times a second. High resolution takes that floor and really just runs with it. And that wasn't possible 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the whole goal of digital music from the get-go. You know, the CD was the start. Kind of come out of the gate a little slow with what's next in the world of CD. Digital streaming really has taken that place.
We've noticed most of our clients tend to start this journey with something like a phone or an iPod, but that might not be the best way to do it.
Yeah, you know, the smartphone is another game changer, and being able to download the Spotify app or the Qobuz app, you know, fire it up on your phone, cast it via Bluetooth to a speaker across the room. Seems like a lot of fun, and it is, but there are better ways to stream music. Today we're going to give you a breakdown of those ways, you know, from powered speakers up to more traditional source components you would put in an equipment rack to drive your stereo.
Yeah, and what we'd also share is the solution that's right for you is really going to depend on convenience, aesthetic, and performance values. So we hope to cover realistically all of those options at some level today. The first category we're going to cover is wireless home speakers. This is probably our most popular category in the market because it's ultra convenient. You don't need a cabinet full of gear. You don't need a rack full of equipment. The speaker contains the amplifier, the streamer, and the speakers all in the same box. Realistically, all you need is a power outlet and Wi-Fi signal and you're up and running.
Yeah, it works great. You know, again, the smartphone comes into play here. So where with Bluetooth, the phone is the streaming device and you're casting wirelessly to the speaker. You know, one of the problems there is when you get a text message notification, your phone rings, all of that comes through the speaker as well. In this sense, though, the streamer itself is built into the speaker. So my phone now is a remote control. I pull up my streaming service, I tell the speaker what to do, the speaker handles all the heavy lifting from there. A lot of these speakers can be part of a whole house ecosystem where I can join my living room with my patio, with my kitchen, and get a really fun whole house music experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, perhaps the most common household name in this category is Sonos, who has a very thorough line of products, arguably the most complete in this category, but also represents the entry point of sound quality. So it will give you CD quality or better. And then there's a next step.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Sonos was the first one to really create this genre. They've done a great job with it. They take performance to a certain level. Beyond that, you'd want to consider something like Bluesound. You know, Bluesound, big player in this game, similar in their ecosystem designs, but from a sound quality standpoint, they reach a little bit higher. They get into the higher res streaming services. I have a Bluesound streamer in my system now. You know, for what it is, it's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive. I will say it's distinctly multi-room, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So Sonos, Bluesound are both multi-room ecosystems. ListenUp does have another well-known multi-room ecosystem. The Denon home products with their HiOS line of speakers, or Denon home speakers running HiO. So 3 multi-room ecosystems, all of which would get you out of the realm of MP3 and compression into at least CD quality. But you'd say Bluesound and Denon would help take it just a step beyond Sonos?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Cool.
You know, and if the whole house ecosystem part isn't important to you, and you just want the best sound quality possible from a powered speaker, Devialet has got the hottest stuff there is on the market right now.
Yeah, from France.
Yeah, man, they have
nice.
a Phantom speaker. They have a whole bunch of speakers, but man, Devialet, a pair of Devialet Phantoms in your room, you'd swear you were listening to this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next up on our introductory guide to music streaming is the music streamers themselves. These are components much like CD players, where the better DACs, the better power supplies, the better streamers themselves all give you better performance when connected to a stereo system or a pair of powered speakers.
Absolutely. So everything in this category is a true component, a dedicated piece of hardware with either an analog out, taking advantage of the internal DAC, or a digital out for connection to an external DAC, but you're using these products with an existing 2-channel or multi-channel system. Where would you start?
Yeah, you know, easy one there. Sonos kind of made this game. You know, they were the first one to really identify this as a niche in our industry. And the Sonos port, you know, is a great piece to start with. Has analog outputs, has coax digital outputs, can be connected wired or wirelessly to your network. Super easy app to drive, you know, to navigate the system. It's not using your phone as the source. The streamer's built into the port, and it can be connected to Sonos's ecosystem. So you connect to powered speakers, amplifier, sound bars. It's a pretty complete experience.
Absolutely, and I think in that realm of wireless multi-room ecosystems, so convenient and complete product ranges for every area of your home, probably the next step is going to be Bluesound, right, with their Node?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the Node is going to give you a much nicer DAC in comparison to a Sonos port, maybe not the upper echelon of digital to analog converter, but certainly nicer, and will give you access to data rates or high resolution files beyond 2444.1, which is Sonos's current limitation. So I don't want to beat them up too much, but if you want beyond what Sonos can offer, you need to look at Bluesound, or maybe even Denon's HiOS line of products, or the Denon Home line of products.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bluesound stuff's been a great addition for us for sure. Another one to consider, and you've recently done a video on these guys, are the new Cambridge AXN MXN streamers. Now, what can you tell us about those?
So we did do a video on these recently. I would call this more of the purest solution. So it's not a multi-room ecosystem. You're not gonna buy 5 AXNs or MXNs and run every system in your house simultaneously. But if you really are just focused on the quality of music and can isolate it to more of a single zone experience, the AXN and MXN are gonna be top picks at that price point. And that also gives you an opportunity to take one step up to something like the CXN, which is going to give you a full color front display, some seat controls, and some other bells and whistles that you won't find below the $1,000 price point.
Yeah, you know, the Cambridge stuff, they're a 40-year-old company out of England, great British sound. I really love that gear. Another company out of England that we're doing really, really well with in our e-commerce department is HiFi, and they have out a streamer called the HiFi Neo Stream. I've heard it, sounds amazing, similar on-screen display with some of the metadata of the content and the bit rate. Really, really digging on that stuff.
So the next step from something like a CXN or the HiFi Neo Stream, it's going to be a jump in price point, so we're probably talking about $2,500 or more. What you are going to get is a much nicer component with nicer pieces on the inside, so think nicer power supplies, low noise, think nicer DACs, better accuracy from the DACs, better internal clocks, things like that. My first pick of the real streamer world, or the real dedicated streamer world, would be the RS250A from HiFi Rose.
Yeah, that piece is magic. You know, spot on too. Great recommendation, Nile. It's got a really cool touch screen on it. I know there's some features about it that appeal to you as a young guy. You know, what about that do you like?
For me, it's really nice to be able to take anybody, any of your friends or family, point them at that streamer, and they can actually use it without having to be on your Wi-Fi network, without having to get out their phone. So there's a level of accessibility that's very unique to the HiFi Rose products. And as a young guy who maybe wasn't raised on screens, but certainly saw phones go from a flip phone to what they are today, I like the interface, I like how responsive the interface is, and for me, it checks the box of being a 2023 product. It feels very modern, very fast, but if you are a purist and things beyond appearance and function were what's important, so sound quality, you might go a little different, and I think I might know what you'd pick, but what would you pick for about $2 to $5 grand?
Yeah. Nah, you know, I'm a huge Moon fan. You know, this is a company out of Canada. The company name is Sim Audio. The brand name is Moon. They make a number of different streamers, but the 280D comes in at about $3,900. That guy is money. Phenomenal sound quality, 10-year warranty. Very intuitive app. It's Rune ready if you want to use Rune as your interface. But just the sound of it is magic.
He's probably onto something there. We carry a lot of really excellent brands, certainly name brands that most hi-fi enthusiasts are familiar with, but I would tell you that Moon probably takes the slot for generally best sounding across the board. So product quality and then the performance of that product quality. Moon probably leads that. Their team is phenomenal. I think more than any other company that we work with, I enjoy working with the team at Moon. So I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think I'd buy the 280D at $3,900. I think I'd spend a little bit more and I'd get the HiFi Rose RS150, their flagship. Keeps the same interface, expands on that interface, and for me, who's a tinkerer and a tester, because that's part of what we're trying to do here is give you good information, it has all the inputs and outputs I want to connect to any system I'm playing with at that time. So for me, $5 grand or south, I'm looking at an RS150A from HiFi Rose, or 150B, excuse me, 150B.
Yeah, you know, as I think about it, I wonder if maybe for an older guy like myself, the ability not to rely on an app, that might be appealing. You know, the HiFi Rose RS150 actually comes with a hard button remote control.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah, and walking up to the face of the machine and being able to select my playlists or my songs, there's a lot to be said for that.
It's probably the biggest driving factor in my personal choice with the RS150 is I want to be able to take anybody, point them at the unit, have them hit the search button, which we all can identify because we're all used to smart interfaces. They can type in their song, hit play, and they're up and running. I don't have to give them anything but go type it in. It's fun.
Yeah, you gotta like that. Yeah. You know, and I would tell you, the finale has to be the Aurender A15. You know, this is another device you did a review on recently with Ari Magolis from Aurender. What can you tell us about the A15?
Yeah, so just to recap, Aurender is probably the upper echelon in digital source component, whether that's pure digital out or analog out. The A15 represents the entry to their analog out devices, so they have 2 other models there. And the reason Scotty's saying the finale is because everything beyond the A15 takes us well out of the price points we're trying to cover today. So with an A15, you're gonna get best-in-class sound quality. You're gonna get a best-in-class user experience from the application. I would maybe caution you that if you find yourself being a more technical listener or preferring a more analytical sound character, that A15 is going to be lush, warm, easy listening. And we currently have it paired in Denver with the Prima Luna Evo 400, pure tube integrated. So when you take the A15, you feed it into a very high-end tube integrated amp, you get this almost excessively lush and cozy sound that I like, but would not be my only system, personally.
It's 2 great tastes that taste great together.
Yeah, but you can have too much of a good thing.
Yeah, never.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, that concludes our introductory guide to music streaming. We're very happy you were here with us. We've covered powered speakers all the way up to true music streaming components. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. We also recognize that it's been pretty basic, so we anticipate you have more questions, and we do have more videos that will come that will answer some of those questions. But if you're curious and you've got answers you need, ListenUp.com, we've got dedicated personnel, expert personnel there. Certainly call us anytime that we're open, but call us or stop by any of our showrooms and see what we have to offer and engage with somebody that can help you along your path.
Yeah, like Nile said, we got a lot more content coming, so please subscribe. Please like our video. That would mean a lot to us. If you got questions, post them below, and we'll be happy to get back to you.
Yeah, we love to engage with you. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody.